Hello once again, this is Orion Syndicate 910. Thanks for watching. Some disgruntled people, angry over the passage of the healthcare bill recently, have announced that they plan a nationwide strike. And what the strike is supposed to consist of is that for a period of days, from I believe the 15th until the 19th or so of April, that they will not buy anything from stores, they will not eat out at restaurants, they're not going to go to work, their kids are not going to go to school, and so on. And this, of course, is supposed to be effective. This is supposed to show people, we're mad, and you see, you lost money, we're not spending any money on you guys, so you're screwed, in other words, because of our strike. I think this is a dumb idea, and I'm going to tell you why, and I know I'm going to get a lot of people mad at this, but here goes. You see, for a strike to be effective, you actually have to injure the opposing side in some fashion. Let's say that you were carrying out a strike at an automobile manufacturing company. Alright? Could be GM, whoever. The workers stop making cars. So there are no new cars being put out for sale, and so people can either A, wait for the cars to be available, or they'll just turn around and go buy cars from someone else. And the people who buy cars from someone else, that's where the injury is, because that money is now gone. Another group of people, probably a smaller one, will actually wait for the strike to be over, in which case then they'll buy their car. So there's no real injury, just the purchase took place, it just took place later. And that's what I see happening with this supposed strike coming up in April. People are going to prepare for the days where they're not going to buy anything from stores or eat out or whatever. So they're going to stock up on supplies prior to the strike, and then immediately after the strike go out shopping again to replenish the supplies that they used while the strike was going on. So there'll be an increase in sales prior to the strike and another one immediately following. That does not negate the sales that would have taken place while this strike was going on, because the sales still took place, it just took place earlier and or later. So the retail market is not going to be injured by any strike of people refusing to buy anything. Okay? I just hope I make that clear to you. You're not going to hurt the retail market by not buying anything for a week, because you're going to stock up on stuff before the strike happens, and you're going to replenish your stuff when the strike is over. There's no injury to the retail market of any kind taking place. They'll either get their money sooner or they'll get their money later, but they're still going to get their money. Another plan that was put forward is that people stay home from work. Okay, now that would be effective if you were an essential employee, in which case the company is actually damaged by your going out on this strike. Problem is that in this current market, people are desperate for jobs. Now, if you tell your boss, I'm not going to be at work for the next few days, you better come up with a solution to your problem beyond saying I'm staying home from work as a way to lash out at the government for passing health care. You better have something a little bit better for your boss to hear, namely, I'm going to be in the hospital, I'm going to be visiting my sick grandmother, something like that. Because if you say I'm just not going to go to work, you know what? Your boss can go out and find someone else who will work, either as a temp or as perhaps a permanent replacement for you. See, this is not the market to be staying home from work, just telling your boss, I'm not coming in. Because if you don't come in, they'll find someone who will come in. And you might come back at the end of the strike and find out that someone else has your job, and now you are the temporary employee. Another idea that was put forward is that kids stay home from school. Alright, well, kids staying home from school for like 3 or 4 days might not necessarily damage them too badly. but it all depends on where your kid's grade point average is. In some circumstances, the kids will be able to make up the lost work, but the work will still get made up. They will still have to do this work. They'll just have to work that much harder to do the work that's concurrent with the days that they attend school, plus the work that they fell behind on during the supposed strike. If your kid is failing or getting very low grades, if they don't make up the work, let's say you're going to go all out with this strike and say, my kid's not going to make up any lost work either, well then his low grade point average is going to get even lower. And if your kid is a straight A student, his grade point average or her grade point average is going to suffer. This strike will solve nothing. Remember when we all struck YouTube? Well, not all of us, some of us kept going, and there was another strike which took place on Facebook where people were protesting, because Facebook has these games that you can play, like Farmville, Mafia Wars, and all this other stuff. People went on strike from these games, and all it did was give the non-striking players the opportunity to move ahead in levels ahead of all the strikers. So the strikers only injured themselves. They didn't injure the gameplay at all. Because I know, because I was one of the strike breakers. So I can understand people's frustration, but statements like the politicians didn't listen to us, they went ahead and ramrodded this thing through without our consent, without informing us, is completely untrue. There were all kinds of public meetings, public town halls. What happened at these public town halls is that the Tea Party protesters and the anti-healthcare reformists went in there and disrupted the meetings. They were shouting down anyone who might support healthcare reform. I mean, the videos are up on YouTube. You can see them. People asking questions about, will this affect my coverage, and wanting a real answer, and people relating stories of how their lives were affected by being unable to pay their medical bills, and these people were being laughed at by the protesters. So all the statement that the government didn't listen to us, they didn't ask our opinions, they didn't allow us any feedback, completely untrue. There were town hall meetings all across this country. And these town hall meetings became synonymous with the protesters, the Tea Partyists, and all these other right-wing nutcases going in there and shouting these people down, not letting them ask questions, not letting them speak. It wasn't the Obama administration and the pro-healthcare reform side that didn't seek input. They did. It's just the people who were motivated to oppose Obama at every turn went out there and did their damnedest to try to keep the public from being informed about what the healthcare reform bill was about. So as far as this supposed strike which is supposed to take place, well, be my guest. Go right at, it is your right to petition the government for redress of grievances if you feel you have grievances. But please don't act like this strike is going to be all that effective in doing anything. You're not going to injure the retail market. You might injure your own job as well as your children's education, and the only people that are going to be hurt by this strike are the strikers. Because the retail market will just say, well, we got 3 or 4 days and then we're going to get all these sales right back again. The schools, the kids are going to be back in school in 3 or 4 days. If you really want to injure the retail market, there are ways you can do it, but not this way. I'm sorry to break it to you. This is Orion Syndicate 910. Thanks for watching.